Hi, Woolly Thistlers. It's Kim here with Turning Ground Yoga, and I am here to talk to you a little bit about something that you probably already know, but didn't really know. I'll explain. I'm going to talk about three yoga concepts. The first one is intention. If you've been to any yoga class ever, you will have heard that word. The second is pratyahara, which is the idea that you are disconnecting from your senses and from all of the busyness that is all around us and bringing your awareness inwards. And the third is pranayama, which is breath work, and that is how we disconnect and come inwards. So, why would this matter? Why is this important? And why am I talking about it on a knitting podcast? Well, because knitting does a lot of the same things. I've heard so many people say, oh, knitting is my sanity. And I've said it for good reason, because knitting does something very, very similar. It's almost like yoga itself. When you're working on something really, we'll say mindless, let's say you're doing garter stitch, it gives you something to focus on like a really minimal level so that you can do this garter stitch without being distracted by the kids or the TV or the dinner or whatever it is that you're doing. Or if you're working on something a little harder, let's say like a lace or a pattern, like a chart with the highlighter tape, which I recently purchased from the Woolly Thistle and it works great, then you really need a lot of focus. You're like got this laser beam focus. And so for sure, you can't have any distractions. Or if there are distractions, you're not noticing them, hopefully, and you can just focus on what it is that you're doing. So yoga does the same sort of thing. When you're really focused and you can get rid of those distractions, then you can be in a peaceful place. And that is why knitting is our sanity. It brings us peace. And then if we set our intention to either stay in a peaceful place or to, do something beautiful for someone else or something beautiful for yourself, because that is an act of self-care, then our intention helps to augment that process and make us feel happier, healthier, live in a brighter place. So today's practice is not a physical movement practice. I'd heard a few of you cheering just now. It is a practice that's all about going within and using yoga to augment the process of knitting. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to use Dirga Pranayama. That's a three-part breath to start only noticing our breath. By only noticing our breath, we can go within and get rid of all of this noise. We can disconnect from the five senses. Of course, you're still going to be listening to me, and you're going to be listening to your breath, but you're not going to have your eyes as stimulation because your eyes are closed. You're not eating anything, so the sense of taste out the door. You're not moving. So the only thing that you're feeling for with your sense of touch is going to be your breath and the other senses. Okay, so here we go. Closing your eyes, place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And as you breathe in, I want you to feel first your belly rise, and then your ribs, and then your chest. So it's like a wave of breath that moves from your belly up into your chest. And then as you exhale, I want you to feel the chest depress, the ribs suck in, and then the belly come down. And all of this is not something that you need to do with effort. It just happens. You're just an observer. Your hands are like this park bench you're sitting on, and you're just watching your breath float in and move out. It will happen regardless. Don't force it. Just observe. So we're going to do about 5 breaths. Just watching, just feeling, and thinking of nothing else. Now, sometimes a rogue thought does pop in, like, oh, I forgot to take the meat out for supper, or What time was I supposed to pick the kids up for swimming lessons? Don't worry about those thoughts. Just acknowledge them, see them, say, oh, there's a thought. It's like a cloud passing in the sky, and then let it go. Because you know what? Those thoughts will come back. They'll be waiting for you. Don't worry about it. And now I want you to bring your awareness to your nose and listen to the sound of the breath through your nostrils. So you're feeling with your hands and you're listening to your nose. And now I want you to notice one more thing, your energy, your thoughts. You see, energy flows or thought goes. So if you're thinking about something other than yourself and your body and your breath right now, your energy is going to be like, fishing line way out there. But if you keep bringing your thoughts back to what you're doing right now, back to the feeling of your body moving, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the sound of your breath moving through your nostrils, then your energy will be here too. And when your energy is here in this moment, you feel peace, contentment. I like to say that you've come home. And this is a perfect place to knit from. So here from this centered place, set your intention to let knitting fill you up. Let it be an act of self-love or love and care for others. An act of healing. An act of grounding. Grounding especially when you're working through those woolly wools that are so natural and you know where they came from. So yoga and knitting, they're pretty closely related, especially at their very heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that you use this breath work as part of your own daily knitting. Do the breath, set your intention, and then keep on knitting. We'll see you again. Namaste.